Okay, here we go. A little bit with satin. Oh, and you too? Oh, and this is Saya. Saya is still a little baby, 5 months old. Okay, and the cats, Scath, the Aluna, they are somewhere sleeping. Hello, my friends, esteemed colleagues and family. I was asked by a friend to talk a little bit about animals. What to do if all of a sudden our little four-legged family member doesn't feel well, refuses to eat, refuses to drink, hides in dark places. Well, we know that those are all symptoms or signs on an animal that doesn't feel well. This is very rare for animals, but when it happens, it is usually a problem of infection, inflammation. They ate something wrong most of the time, or what is very common is bioweapon spread through tick bite. Now, it is always good when we don't know what is happening to have at house at hand a nanoparticle colloidal silver. Doesn't matter of what animal are you talking about. Are you talking about your dog, your cat, lizard, parrot, or any other bird or aquatic fish? Colloidal silver is your general non-toxic, which means non-medicinal antiseptic. It basically destroys one-cell organisms. And here we go with bacteria, fungus, and one-cell parasites, like amoeba, for example. So if you don't know what could be happening, animals suddenly slows down and refuses to eat and drink. This often is accompanied with high fever, in dogs dry nose and warm hot nose. Your first action should be colloidal silver. Just take a syringe, put it in a corner of the mouth, and slowly squirt in the liquid so you force them to drink, because the reflux or reflex of swallowing occurs, and they have to drink it. So just stick it in the mouth and just start squeezing. Amount, the more the better, because it's non-toxic. So whatever you can give them to swallow, at least 10 milligrams, but milliliters. But it all depends on size of the animal, but also depends on how much you can actually put into the animal, because they will not swallow because you tell them they have to, which is the difference between children and us and animals. You just cannot force them. But in this way, it is possible. And then hydrate them with a plasma, water with sea salt. Same as we do for us, at least half a teaspoon of non-refined sea salt mixed with water, and then take a syringe, or they have these, I don't know how you call them, those rubber suction cups, pointy, and you can just suck liquid in, put it in the mouth, it's soft, and just squeeze it, make them drink. Since this is general, talking about colloidal silver, if it is general anti-bacterium agent, it is going to be very helpful in a case there was a problem of this sort. We are being told that there are certain viral diseases that puppies will get, and we have to be careful. Well, don't have your animals vaccinated. Just don't do it, because this is how they get the poison in there. The rest themselves, they don't know, because no doctor is ever being told what is in the vaccine. Okay, and by now we know that it's nothing good. So another mistake, especially with the dogs, is giving them a little bit of cooked spinach. When I had my Portuguese water dog, Sailor, when he was a little puppy, it's before I started cruising. This is why I got the dog. By mistake, pan was left where he could reach it with little bit, just tiny, plate was not cleaned well, so leftovers of mashed potato and spinach. I used to prepare this meal. I used to eat incorrectly, and he got hold of it and licked it, and he got all the symptoms of parvo, all the symptoms. Parvo infection. Huh? Remember, virus. So it's the food, it's toxicity. And spinach is toxic. No matter what the Popeye cartoons tells you, spinach is toxic. Don't eat the stuff. And especially do not allow your dogs to get to it. They will become violently ill. They can die. Now, if the diarrhea shows up, that stinks terribly, it's inflammation going on in the intestines, colloidal silver is the only remedy you can successfully use. Colloidal silver and plasma. Don't force them to eat. Food is not important. But to get into them as much colloidal silver and plasma one way or the other. So if it's a small puppy and really in bad shape, with strong diarrhea, then you may not be successful putting enough colloidal silver through the mouth. So put it through the rectum. Okay? And it is going to pull through it. It is going to calm him and give it plasma to flush. Sometimes it is necessary to put them on IV just because they don't want to drink when they don't want to drink. And whatever you can squeeze may not be enough, so putting them on a drip of saline solution, that's water and salt, yes, to help them cleanse. But again, here you already need a vet. So it is important to have trustworthy vet that is not going to do stupid things. Tell him no antibiotics, none of that nonsense. Colloidal silver, and then even colloidal silver to put into the drip. Fabulous idea. Remember, it is non-toxic, but it is going to destroy all pathogens. So definitely, in the blood, it's a good thing. Try not to feed your animals with packaged foods. No matter what pet you have, check what is their natural food, their relatives in nature, and provide that type of a food. Should not be cooked, should not be processed, has to be raw. Here I have a visit of one bird, always comes. Hi baby, always comes to say hello, and I'm afraid of my tigers here, of Scuff and Aluna, to catch him. Okay, so as you can see in this paradise, we have birds. He comes to talk to me sitting right there. Unfortunately, I cannot turn the camera. Oh, maybe I can try, just to give you a hint. I'm not sure if this is the bird that flew in a window of a gym and ended up in a swimming pool. So we took him out and revived him and gave him a chance to dry on a branch. And maybe there's the bird that keeps coming back now and say hello a couple times a day. It's a beautiful world. You know, treat others the way you want to be treated. You cannot go wrong. It's a very simple, forget about the 10 Commandments. It's a baloney. There's only one. And it all relates to your consciousness. So if, when you give colloidal silver, the effect should be quite rapid. So within hours, you should already see improvement. And if in 24 hours you don't see improvement, you should go to the vet and have blood checked to see if it was maybe bite of tick. There's some poisoning going on. And then drip. It's the only thing. Well, antibiotic, but colloidal silver in a drip would do marvel. The only thing is that what you are doing with antibiotic, you are basically closing the cells so toxicity cannot seep out or come into the cell. And this way, things tend to calm quicker. So sometimes antibiotic could be helpful, as some other poisons would be helpful as well, including a little bit of alcohol. But sometimes it's better not to experiment. If colloidal silver doesn't do the trick, which again, in 90% of cases it will, then you have to check with the vet. They have to see the blood. If there is any bacteria, it's in the case of tick, and then give antibiotic to help the body to prevent further poisoning. Also, if you have a silver pulsar or Beck's blood electrifier, this can safely be used on animals. I did it. I tried it even on parrots and small birds. Again, I don't know exactly what the benefit was at that moment, because the birds were okay. It was experiment. On dogs, definitely. When I attached pulsar, blood electrifier, to a sailor when he was sick, he started oozing from a nose greenish secretion. So definitely was cleansing. So this is another thing, but be careful if you are not sure what is happening here. There's a visit of colibri. If you are not sure, because sometimes they can find a rat poison. Now, if there is in the blood, and if you put your animal on blood stimulator, blood cleanser, this actually forces cellular hydration, and you will rapidly poison your animal and kill it. If the thing is with a rat poison, then a colloidal silver can be used, but it is the plasma, and it has to be cleansed out of blood as quick as possible. So again, here vet may be necessary because it has to put him on drip to force in the saline solution and force the elimination, cleansing of the blood through frequent urination and probably diarrhea. So this is in general what one can do without seeking help from the outside. Always make sure that it was not rat poison. If there is no way that the animal could get to rat poison, and it feels sluggish and diarrhea and starts stinking and stuff, colloidal silver, pack it with colloidal silver, some kind of infection. And forget about parvo and all these things, because it's not a virus. It is toxicity that can be picked up. Keep away from packaged foods, as I said. Try to feed them natural food. My animals eat exactly what we eat. My dogs occasionally will take a little bite of banana, but sometimes, not all the time. They like sweet stuff, so watermelon, they'll eat it. Mango, they love to eat. Acidic sweet mango. But this is very seldom we get a little treat like this. They are carnivores like we are. And cats, they don't care about any fruits. They just want their meat, preferably fish. And raw. Of course, animals can very easily get spoiled to a cooked meat, and then they would prefer it. Taste. This is why we basically force them having uncooked raw meats. Sometimes we warm it up a little bit, but that's all. Okay, thank you for listening. If you have any problem with animals, you can also freely ask me. I'll see if I can help you. Occasionally, people do that. So, thank you for being here. Till next time, love you all.